morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time of the day it is that you're listening to this. Welcome back to Walking with Wanzu. My name is Yvette Wanzu. I am so grateful for all the feedback I have been getting as well as the support. I do not take it for granted every time that you take your time out of your busy life and the wonderful gift that is your time to be able to just tune in and listen in and download and listen. You just have a listen at the podcast, know what's going on, and give me feedback. I really, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate it. And it is my hope that we will continue to build a community whereby we can talk, we can interact, we can share without judgment, and we can just grow. And even as we talk about growth, I just want to say that growth is a very personal process and it takes time. And so I celebrate you even if you're simply taking a single step in the right direction. Like if today all you did was wake up in the morning and you identified that is the direction, that is the right direction, and once you identified it, you took a step towards that, I celebrate you. You're doing well. And I'm just here cheering you on, clapping for you. So I wanted to come on and do like a recap. As I'm recording this, I don't know what's happening. The lights keep going on and off, but I'm just hoping that they'll stay on now that they're back and that none of my bulbs will get burnt. Because y'all know that these bulbs ain't cheap and the lights just need to act right because we've got things to do. Anywho, that's neither here nor there. I have been thinking a lot of what it is that I wanted for us to come on here and discuss next. And one thing that I try to do so much is to be able to share with you from a point of authenticity and honesty. And today it's going to be a bit raw than usual. But you know what? Let's do this. So it's going to be like more of a recap of 2021, as well as me just touching base as far as where my headspace is, some of the lessons that I've gathered, some of the things that I'm looking forward to doing, and something that I have decided to do that I would like for you guys to keep me accountable on or about. I don't know, like I would just like you guys to hold me accountable. Maybe, let's say that. So I want to say like 2 weeks ago, if I rewind and go 2 weeks ago and then now take it back for like a month, I have really been out of it. I have been in a bit of a depressive episode, so I didn't want to do anything. All I had energy to do was just my normal life functions, like wake up in the morning, get the baby ready for school, do the laundry, do house chores. But other than that, I didn't want to do anything else, yo. I didn't even want to speak on the phone. Like it felt like such a hard job. And the only few people that I was talking to was family. And not everyone in my family. I was talking to my partner and I was also talking to my mom. Like those are the only people who I would just psych myself up and say, okay, just answer the phone, just talk to them. And everyone else, it was just like, it was such a chore and it was so hard. And I just remember feeling, like tired, not physically. Maybe let me say I wasn't tired physically as much as I was mentally and emotionally, and I was just in a really dark space. I was feeling a bit hopeless and I just knew something was wrong. I just couldn't point it out. All I knew is I just didn't want to do anything out of the ordinary apart from just normal things. Like I didn't have energy to socialize. I was really out of it. And so even as I began to unpack what was leading to some of these feelings and this space that I was in, I realized that so the job hunt just got real. I had given myself a timeline of 3 months, and I think a month was stolen because of the space I was in, and I just wasn't able to function at optimum. But then the first 2 months that I had, I was super aggressive. And so it has never taken me this long to be able to secure a job. And I think part of the reason why I'm also not very aggressive about the search is because I'm at a crossroads, and I'm at that point in my life where, and I don't know if you people can relate, I'm at that point where I don't want to do things because that's what I need to do, and I don't want to do things that don't feel right to me. And so the question here would be, what feels right to you? I know for a fact that I was put in this universe for a reason. I know that I have something to contribute. I know that there's something that God put me here to do that is specifically for me to do and is my mission. And I'm kind of figuring that out. I'm en route. I've figured it out for the most part. I just need a certain sense of direction and clarity. And sometimes opportunities can come your way, but if you just feel in your heart of hearts that it's not aligning with what it is that you feel you need to do, then there comes a time when you just can't do things for the sake of doing it anymore. I don't know if it's making sense. And so one of the things that has been my dream for the longest time, and I just figured it out a couple of years ago, is I'm very keen on wellness. I just like it when people around me feel heard, feel loved, feel supported. I just love to be part of making sure that people are just in a good headspace or feel that they have a certain level of support. And so I have really been drawn to the study of psychology, wellness. I love all things wellness. And I know wellness is a broad spectrum. So, we can be talking about physical health and all that. But for me, it's the psychological part of it, the emotional support, everything that comes with that. And not only am I very keen on it, but I'm also very intrigued about the mind and the concept of wellness and community and love and support and just emotional well-being. And so I do know that anything that I do, I definitely would like to channel it towards that direction. I'm also very passionate about support, emotional and psychological support for young adults and teenagers as well. I'm also very keen, but not as much as I am for young adults and teenagers, for babies too, because I feel like babies also go through stuff, and because babies are very, in my understanding, babies are very pure, and so the way they feel things, maybe we might not think that way as adults. I feel like babies feel things very intensely, and so sometimes certain events that could happen in our early childhood years, which is what actually builds up to who we end up becoming and functioning as when we are grown-ups, could be detrimental and could also be really good. And so being in a space where I can be able to just give people or even babies that kind of support would really make me happy, and I would feel like I'm functioning in my purpose and my authenticity. So what does this look like for me to be able to accomplish this dream? First is to go to school, because when you're dealing with people and people's minds, you want to be well equipped, you want to be knowledgeable, and you just want to really know what it is that you're doing. The other thing I feel would just be to be able to believe in myself. I have a lot of I have a lot of struggle with self-doubt, self-worth, just believing in myself. And I know, because even the people that are close to me and the people around me are constantly affirming my brilliance. But I think my worst enemy is that sometimes I myself, who is even the one who embodies the brilliance, does not believe that. And that could be the worst thing that I feel anyone could ever do to themselves. So that has been a struggle, but that's something that I definitely need to do. And to also just tap into the fact that I'm a believer, and so just to believe that it is God who anoints. And so if He has put in me the want and the need and that feeling to be able to just want to be a source of support and all that, just to be able to take it up and to believe that I can do it, and to believe that there's space and there's room for me, and to believe in my brilliance and just my ability to be able to do that which I feel is my path and is my calling. And so just wrapping my head around all that and navigating new things has been quite the challenge. Another thing is, we all pray for relationships. We all pray to find the one. We are all just sitting somewhere, fasting and praying, reminiscing, and thinking of the time when we will meet the love of our lives and do life and just be happy. And I have had the amazing privilege to be able to meet someone, and if you're listening, because I know they listen to my podcast, shout out to you. I have been very privileged to be able to meet someone and to, just come together from a point of them being an imperfect being and me being as imperfect as I am, but having one thing is in common, which is our love for each other and choosing to commit to each other and just to do life together. One thing that I have noticed love has done for me is it has brought out my inner demons. And I know that's very grim to say, but let me explain to you what I mean by that. Usually my experience of love has been very transactional, so many deeply transactional. And if you're listening to this and you know me, then you'll start to pick up on what it is that I'm saying. How I experienced love during my younger years and even up to very recently is people around you will come around you or will show to care for you or be with you because of something that it is they're gaining from you or they want from you. And I learned to do that, unfortunately, in return. And so love for me, or relationships, any form of relationship, has always been very transactional. And deep down, I always knew and craved that true, genuine, authentic kind of love. But over time, I think because of experiences, that was watered down. And so I developed certain toxic traits and attributes to be able to protect myself and to guard my heart. And that would mean I would always imagine worst case scenarios. I would always think of people at their worst just to be able to manage my expectations about, of what it is that they could do wrong or what they're capable of. Another thing is I self-sabotage a lot. Sometimes I could just be in a very happy space in my relationship and I'm just like, why is there no conflict? Why are we not fighting? Why is everything okay? Why are we so happy? And sometimes I even do it subconsciously. And I'm just deciding, and I have been thinking about it a lot, and I'm just deciding that I don't want that for myself. And I'm happy that I know that, because that can be very destructive for me. And one thing that I know in my experience about love, or what I've seen around me, is most of the time, you don't get a second chance at it. If you find the one and they love you and they want to put in the work and they want to be with you, then you need to take it and you need to embrace it and you need to be what they are for you, which is someone who loves in return, who is there for them, and someone who fights for your relationship. And so I'm just in a space of a lot of reflection, and I'm really digging at my wounds. I'm really digging at the things that I feel I genuinely and consciously want to change. I am unlearning and relearning a lot in terms of love, in terms of career, in terms of the direction I want to take with my life and the direction I want to head. And even when we talk matters career, some of the things, or the thing that has been very conflicting for me over time is how do I balance, being incredibly successful financially so that I as a parent can give my daughter the life that I would love for her to have, which is a comfortable life, and for myself as well. And so I'm just thinking, where do I draw the line? And I was listening to Oprah today, and she was talking about having a view of seeing yourself and your life as a gift, and then in everything that you do, coming from it, doing it from the point of how can I give of myself? So what can I give, how can I apply myself? And when when you realize and you acknowledge that you yourself are a gift, and your life in itself is a gift, and what it is that you have to offer, whether you, in whatever capacity you are in, whether you're a mom, whether you're a friend, whether you're a sister, whether you're a worker, how can you give of yourself? Because you are such a gift. When you look at things from that perspective, especially in career, then it helps you to draw that balance. Because I feel like when it rains, it pours, and the same as it is for trouble is the same as it is for when it's in good times, and it's a time of blessings and abundance. And when I am centered and I am whole within, then that is what I will reflect, and that's what I'll get in return. And so I'll get abundance, I'll get peace in return, I'll get joy, I'll get blessings. I mean, my finances will look good, and I'll just be living in the fullness of what it is that God wants for me. And so that all these things that I have been saying are things that I have been on my mind, and I have been ruminating about them and thinking about them. And so one thing that I want to do as I get into the new year, which I wish I would have done even a while back, is to have a moment of stillness. I am going to be very still within myself and around me, and I'm going to take time out to be able to just work on myself, highlight the values that I want to move forward with, and also just if there's a goal or there's anything that I want to do that I haven't done it to the optimum, then I want to start working on it. And I realize that change doesn't come, all at once. Sometimes it's 360, and that's awesome. But I'm just going to be very gracious to myself and take it a step at a time. And even as I practice grace, because that can easily be misused, I'm going to hold myself and keep myself accountable. And that's where you guys come in. So do feel free to hit me up on the DMs. It's Yvette10 on Instagram. Let's talk. Send me a message. Tell me what you're going through. Try and keep up with me. Tell me, what's going on. I will be more than happy to share the progress and how things are going, and how, events are just unfolding as time comes by. And even as I bring this to a close, I just want to say that something that I'm very cognizant of is 2021 has been a very experimental year for me. It's the year that I have branched out to do things that I ordinarily would not have imagined myself doing. It's the year that I have put myself out there to just try out new things, whether it's in terms of business ventures, whether it's in terms of relationships and friendships, even in my faith. And even as I take time off to be still, I would like to be in a space where I rekindle my relationship with God. Because one thing that happens to me is when I'm going through a turbulent time, I tend to have a hard time praying and just connecting with God. And so that's something that I want to change. And I'm looking to even build traditions around it, and just to see how I can have some me time with Jesus and have a very personal relationship with God. And so as I was saying earlier, before I got derailed again, I'm bringing this to a close by just saying that I know that there's so much to be grateful for. Good health, it's been COVID season, things have been crazy, but God has just sustained me, sustained my daughter, sustained my loved ones. I've only lost one person that is in my family to COVID, and I am so grateful, and I feel incredibly blessed to know that COVID has not, we've not seen the worst side of COVID, and I know people have had it really bad. And so I'm deeply grateful. I'm grateful to have found love. I'm grateful to just be in a space where I'm healthy, I'm fine, my loved ones are okay. And it's the small things really. It's the small masses that sometimes we're even not cognizant of. And so I just want to send you love and light, and I want to tell you that even as you reevaluate and go through the events of what 2021 was, and you branch out into 2022, celebrate the wins, whether big or small. Be gracious to yourself and know that I am in your corner, and I am rooting for you, and I am cheering for you. And your life is just that. It's your life. Reinvent as many times as you need to, and just know that a single step in the right direction, even if you're simply facing the right direction, is progress. I will see you on the next one. I am sending you love and light and good vibes. God bless you, and bye bye.